These construction men are coming off shift more than 100 miles from the nearest land. They cross a bridge poised above some of the stormiest waters in the world. They're part of a large workforce bringing Shell Esso's North Sea oil fields to full production.
On Dunlin, I was OIM from 77 until first oil in 1978. During that time, we were drilling and constructing at the same time. Before first oil, just coming up to first oil, the mood was high. The construction, operations, maintenance, and the drilling department, they were all moulded together in a good team, which gave good support, and they were on a high. When Dunlin started exporting oil, it pumped from the platform into the Brent system, and Dunlin was the first platform to put oil into Sullom Voe after Sullom Voe went live. When you looked out and you saw all these lights, these fairy lights at night, it reminded me very much of that Shell poster where you had a moonscape and all these rigs round about it, and that just put it in perspective for me. But it was an amazing sight, and of course it was compounded by the fact that most of them had flotels round about them because they were all in the construction phase, and it was an amazing sight.
My involvement with Dunlin began in '93 when I was asked to come in and be project manager for Dunlin refurbishment. This was a project which was 100 million of refurbishment work, mainly generated from Cullen upgrades. The other part of the work, which wasn't related directly to safety, was environmental, and that was Osprey and Dunlin hydrocyclones. At the time, Dunlin was considered to be the dirty man of the North Sea. One of the real challenges, and one of the successes of both the platform team and also the engineering team, was being able to refurbish this whole thing online, because it was a very difficult job to do. We couldn't afford to shut the platform down for any amount of time, so we had to do it online. It must have been quite a difficult platform to commission because there was a lot of equipment on it. It was a very challenging task. It was extensively updated to bring it into line with sort of modern technology. We had a ceremony at the end of the project. We turned this one into a bit of a spoof because we called it the DAFTA Awards, which was the Dunlin Alpha Awards, and they were awards for people who had caused the most attrition to the project. I guess I would say the success of the project and certainly to the platform was really working the teams together, giving respect and trust, between us, which always works. It's an old formula, but it always works. If you trust people, if you have confidence in them, and you give them scope to do their work, then I think they'll always go that extra mile for you at the end of the day. And I think that's probably the story. It's one of the stories of Dunlin, which is probably still true today.
So here we are today, we're celebrating the huge success of Dunlin over 25 years. And you just start to imagine the number of people and all of the hard work that's gone in making the most of a fantastic asset, which is the Dunlin reservoirs and Osprey and Merlin fields tied back to the platform, which has created the most superb piece of business.
Dunlin has, because of the time it's been around, has a very unique culture. It's very unique in the sense that we've got a very good safety record. For that to have been achieved, safety culture has been elevated to a very, very good and high level on the platform. It's a challenging environment for all, I'd say, and I think it's a challenge I'm very happy to be involved in.
Shell's busy with developing a new field off Nigeria, the Bonga field, with an FPSO, and we're looking to train a huge number of people in offshore operations. So the Dunlin became host for a whole series of young Nigerians and experienced Nigerians who've been working on the Dunlin platform for several months at a time each, getting the opportunity to learn from how things were done on Dunlin, which was super. But what I really liked was it was a real two-way street, because the regular Dunlin crew were saying to me things like, these guys ask really good questions, and the really good questions that the newcomers were asking were helping the Dunlin team to look at themselves and think about why they did things the way they did them and see new opportunities to do things differently in the future.
Dunlin together, we have the offshore and the onshore, but for success to be achieved, we've got to work as a continuous team between both areas. So you've got a nice family there of people who have a common objective to deliver production and safety targets consistently. It's critical for success.
One of the things that the team on Dunlin should be very proud of is their safety record. They've just achieved more than a year without a recordable case and more than 2 years without a lost time incident, and that's a really significant achievement. It's something that requires the focus and the attention and the energy of everybody involved over a sustained period, and they deserve to be very, very proud of it.
Dunlin is substantial. It's much loved by the crews that worked on it. There was always a very, very good team spirit on Dunlin.
Dunlin was a success story from the beginning. It was the jewel in the Shell crown, and we were all proud of it. These early days, that's when the foundation was laid for the latter successes that's still going on that platform.
One of the good things about Dunlin is when you come into Dunlin, you sense a culture, a sense of a family kind of feeling in Dunlin. I think it's a great place to work, one of the best platforms I've seen.
The history of the North Sea and North Sea platforms has always been one of change, but as long as the core values of the platform remain the same, I think Dunlin in particular could maintain its great track record.
Dunlin's had a long history, and we're all working hard to make sure it has a good, solid future. Making changes to allow a sustainable future and to create as many opportunities and to capitalise on those opportunities wherever we can will characterise the future for Dunlin.
I look back on Dunlin, my career in Shell, with fond memories. I can quite honestly say I never wakened up in the morning and said, I don't want to go to that office. If I had my time over again, I would do the same again. I feel that Shell were a good, honourable company, and that they gave me a good time.